We are doing the second lesson on percents today. Our focus today is going to be setting up percent word problems. So you can see your objective is to solve percent word problems. There is one main thing you need to know today. I want you to write this entire slide, yes. But this is the most important part. So this is the...
Write the entire slide?
Write the entire slide, yes. This is the proportion we're going to set up in every single problem we're going to do today. Is over of equals percent over 100. So next to the is, I want you to put the part. Sometimes you won't see the word is. Sometimes you won't see the word of. So you'll need to decide, well, which one's the part and which one's the whole. The part goes in your is spot. The whole goes in your of spot. Equals percent over 100. 100 is always locked in. This says you'll know 3 numbers. You won't know one of the numbers, so see how there's like 4 spots? 100 you'll always know. You'll know 2 other ones, and then you'll have one of them that's unknown. When we have an unknown in math class, we use a variable. I usually use x or p if I'm talking about a percent. So let's set up the proportion, we'll cross multiply, and we will solve. So the basic ones, the first ones we'll look at will have the words is, of, and percent in it. But then after that, you kind of have to think of what goes where a little deeper. You won't see the words is and of, but it will be pretty obvious. One will be a part of something, one will be the whole thing. So just remember, part over whole equals percent over 100. So for each one of these, I like to set the proportion up ahead of time and just sort of play it like a fill-in-the-blank game. So the 100 is the only one that's locked in. All the other ones, you'll have to assign the numbers to certain spots. So it's one ratio equals another ratio with a 100 on the bottom. So back to number 1. 60 goes on top of the 100. The percent's usually the easiest one to locate and position. The percent always goes over 100. Now you have to decide, is the 32 your is number or your of number?
Is.
Your is. See how it's right next to the word is? Good. Or you could think of it as the part. It's 60% of some other number that's the whole. So we're looking for the whole or the of in this case. Alright, once you have all the positions assigned, you just cross multiply. So that would be 3,200 equals 60x. Did you have a question?
What?
So then times 60x divided by 100, I guess.
Well,
3.333333.
hold on. Back up. Cross multiply. So the 32 times the 100 gives me 3,200. And then the 60 times the x is the 60x. That's just cross multiplying like we did last week.
So how do we reduce this?
So we want to get the x by itself. Right now it's being multiplied by 60, so the way you get rid of that is you divide by 60. And then I heard someone had it already. What was it? 53.333. We'll just leave one number after the decimal in all of them today. So we'll just leave it as 53.3. Raise your hand if you have a question on number 1.
Can I do number 2 to see if I understand this?
Yes, let's pause a minute on number 1 while everyone writes, and then we'll jump to number 2. All right, number 2. What is 80% of 30? Hold on, Max is going to try it.
80% of 30.
So where does the 80 go?
80 goes over the 100.
Or 80 goes over the 100. And then is the 30 the is number or the of number? It's the of. It's right next to the word of. Yeah, that's the total. And we're looking for 80% of that number. So now, another indicator that your is spot is going to be where the variable is. Remember, variables are things we don't know. So what is? We don't know the is. What is? That's what we're looking for, okay? Now we cross multiply. What's x times 100?
100.
100x.
So I got 2,400 and
2,400.
Very good.
So then divided by 24.
Yep, x equals 24.
That's simple.
Great. Questions? You can set up your proportion and then fill in the blanks. So I have a ratio equals another ratio with a 100 on the bottom. 18 is, so where's that going to go? On top.
I have 20.5.
87.5%. Where's that going to go?
Over.
Over the 100 of what? So that's going to be where your variable goes. Number. Okay? Now we can cross multiply. So that's going to be 1800 equals 87.5x. Did anyone get this far?
Yes, I have passed this already.
Okay, what did you get for your x value?
X value is 20.57, so basically 21.
20, let's round to the nearest tenth. So
20.6.
20.6, very good. What are your questions on number 3? All right, we can start number 4 in the same way. Play it like a fill in the blank game. So 28 is, where does that go? The top. What percent? So I'm going to be looking for the percent. Whenever I'm looking for the percent, I always use a P just so I remember to put the percent symbol in my answer. You can use an X if you want. It's up to you. And then of 32, well, there's only one spot left, and it's the bottom, and it's our of spot, so that makes sense. All right, now I can cross multiply. 2800 equals 32p. Can divide both sides by 32,
I got 87.5.
and you should be getting 87.5% since we were looking for the percent. Good. Kind of interesting since that's the percent from the other problem, but cool how that works out. Any questions on 3 or 4? Let's look at number 5. So number 5 is kind of interesting because you had a question like this yesterday where we would just write it as a fraction, then a decimal, then a percent. If you want to stick with that method on your own, that's fine. I'm going to show you how to do it though with this proportion that we learned today. So is 47 the part of the test or the entire test?
Part.
The part. So that goes in our is spot. Is 50 the part of the test or the whole test? The whole test. So that's our of spot. And then we're looking for the percent. So again, if you don't see the words is and of, you need to think of it as part and whole. Now we can cross multiply. So we get 4700 equals 50p.
I got 94.
Yes, it should be 94%. Good.
Pretty good.
Now, again, if you want to just do it like we learned it yesterday, you could do 47 over 50. That's the score as a fraction. Then you could do the division. You get 0.94. That's the answer as a decimal. And then you could change it to a percent. It's up to you. Some people prefer this. Some people prefer the other way. Now you know 2 ways to get that answer. Any questions on number 5? All right, number 6. Now we have Michelle.
Obama?
I don't know which Michelle it is. Just Michelle. Thank you. Shh. Let's focus. Michelle got 74% on her test. So where does the 74 go?
She failure. She go
On top.
On top of the 100. Good. She got 111 questions correct. So is 111 the part of the test or the entire test? That's the part. So that goes up here, and then we're looking for the whole test. Let me just ask you something real quick. Should our answer be more than 111 or less than 111?
I don't know.
More.
Less.
There's more than 111 questions on the test if she got 111 correct, right? There has to be some that she missed. So keep that in mind as you're going through these. Sort of think of like my answer should be around this number, and then if it's not anywhere near there, you know you set it up wrong. So we know we should be getting an answer that's more than 111. Since that's how many she got correct, and we know she didn't get over 100% on the test, okay? So when I cross multiply,
You get 11100.
okay, equals 74x.
And I got like 150.
150, good. And since this is a real life type of problem, not where they're just saying like what number is, you should put a label on this where you're talking about questions. So there are 150 questions on this quiz. Again, ask yourself if that makes sense. If you got 111 questions out of 150 questions, it makes sense that you got about a C. Alright, we are going to look at 2 more problems, but you don't need to write them down. As long as you have the first 6 in your notes, you're good to go. But you guys still need to help me set it up and solve it. When we are ready. Alright, number 7 says the Cubs sold 17,429 seats for last Sunday's game. If there are 38,288 seats in the stadium, what percentage of the seats were sold? So, let's just go through number by number. The 17,000 number, is that a part of the stadium or the entire stadium? That's part, so that goes in our part spot.
They sold.
38,000, is that the part or the whole or the percent?
45%.
This is the whole, and then we are looking for the percent.
45.5.
Hold on, getting ahead of us. So let's cross multiply here. So it's going to be that same number with 2 zeros since I multiplied by 100. Equals that.
I got 45.5.
I guess.
Hold on, you guys are getting ahead of me. So 45.5. What comes after the 5?
2078.
Awesome. So we'll keep it at that. Okay. Again, ask yourself when you get to the end, does it make sense? Does it make sense? That percent is real close to 50%, right? So looking back, they should have sold about half the seats. Does it make sense that 17,000 is about half of 38,000? Yeah, it's all pretty close. So it makes sense. So go back and think, is this logical before you box in your answer and move on? 75% of what number is 65? So where does the 75 go?
50.
Over the 100 because it's our percent. 65 on the top because it's next to the word is. And then I'm looking for the of. Cross multiply here. We get 6,500 equals 75x.
I got 86.7.
What?
Round by the nearest 10.
86.7?
Yeah, round by the nearest 10.
Sounds good to me. Anyone have questions on today's notes?
No.
The key is that proportion right over there on the board. Is over of equals percent over 100 or part over whole equals percent over 100. Any questions? We have one more lesson on percents tomorrow. All right, sounds good. Here comes your homework.